But the senator, while indoctrinated, could not explain his toxicity.
Hello and welcome to Honey Badger Radio. I'm your host, Alison Tiemann, and I'm here today with Brian and Lindsay Martinez, and we are going to be discussing the panel of the women on the real advise men of the Red Man group not to advise women. That's a lot of iterative statements there, and
Well,
this
that's
is
the
HBR
story.
Debate.
Yeah,
This is
the story.
This is HBR Debate number 12 for those who are keeping track. You know, I'm sure that we'll have a pendant. If we ever get that wrong, we'll have somebody in the comments saying, this was HBR Debate number 11 3/4. You're incorrect. I'm never watching you again. Unsub. Or something. I'm sorry. I love you guys. You're wonderful. A lot of you are slightly autistic though.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the most charmed?
Slightly?
Is that the right way to put?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I don't mean that in a bad way because I can also be autistic.
No,
as you can tell from my Twitter.
People on the spectrum, I think, or people that are out there, they're the pioneers. They're the frontiersmen of this of these topics. So if it weren't for them, you know, then if it weren't for people like you, the Spurgs, we wouldn't be talking about this stuff at the scale that we are. So I guess thank you.
Without the weaponized autism.
That's right. Absolutely. So today's show, we're going to be looking at a video clip. It's about 4 minutes and long, plus change, of a daytime talk show called The Real. And The Real is basically The View and The Talk, but like the C grade or the C team. The only person from this that I recognize is Tia Mowry, who is the woman, the second from the center, who was on an old sitcom called Sister Sister that I remember from the 90s.
Sorry, but do you mean to say that The View is the A team?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, The View is the A team.
That's scary to think.
And then The Talk is the B team and this is the C team?
Yes. And that's saying something because The View is garbage.
Well, it's saying something about your hierarchical male mind. That's what it is. Toxic masculinity.
Burp, to herp, derp. I think The View was the first show to do that, where it was like, let's get a panel of women that are has-beens, and let's have them all sit together. Yeah, like let's get what's her name from Roseanne that isn't doing any work right now, and we will, and like, you know, I don't know, whoever else is on there, Joey Behar or whatever her name is, and we'll have them all, and Whoopi Goldberg.
Joey.
I don't know. Zoe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Can I say which one is the one with Whoopi Goldberg on her?
That's The View. The View is Whoopi Goldberg, and she's probably the biggest star on that panel.
Can I just make a comment about that? Because sometimes I see clips of The View, and whenever I see Whoopi Goldberg on it, she sort of has this look on her face like, why am I here? I'm just counting down the time to like pick up my check at the end of this.
Darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, I know. This is just this look of what the hell.
This is where her life has become. Yes.
Yeah, I know, and I actually sort of feel sorry for her.
Pretty much.
She doesn't look like enjoying herself.
She looks like when I was in the 90s, when I went to art school, she looks like my art teacher. That's what she looks like now, like dreadlocks and everything. Except my art teacher has made something of herself. Whoopi Goldberg is doing The Talk. I'm saying she's famous and all that, but
I mean The View.
The View. I'm sorry. The Talk is the one with Sharon Osbourne and the what's her name from Roseanne. That played. What was the character's name?
Essentially, what I mean is that Whoopi Goldberg looks like she's
Darlene.
She looks like she's the zookeeper in the chimp terrarium. Like the chimp. I said she's the zookeeper.
I hear you. Yeah, sure. Roseanne said that too. But no, I'm kidding. I'm sure the chat will have some fun with that statement.
Okay.
Take it out of context, everybody.
Can I just defend myself? I said the zookeeper. I didn't say she was one of the chimps. I said she's one of the people who are like, what the fuck? I'm surrounded by chimps.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I'm just joking.
I
Okay,
know.
so this is the bottom of the bucket version, but the reason why we're looking at this video is because they are going to be discussing, I put that in quotes, extreme quotes, the 22 convention, which is, I'm going to display this really quick so you guys can see it, being put on by 21 Studios, the Red Band Group. I don't know what they call themselves, but basically the 22 convention.
All right.
Go
I'm
ahead,
confused
Alison.
as fuck. I'm confused. I'm sorry, my feeble female mind is not comprehending this. Is this these are the people that we got in an argument with, right? Or something
Yes.
happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Beach
So
muscles.
we got in an we got in an argument with the individuals who, okay, because I thought they were like the 21 man group. Or they abandoned
okay.
that?
No. They haven't abandoned it. I'm gonna try and clear it up. Okay. They're called the Red Man Group, and they put on a convention called the 21 Convention. So the 21 Convention. Maybe actually, let me take it back a level. Okay. 21 Studios is comprised of men called the Red Man Group, who puts on a convention called the 21 Convention, which is a convention or conference for men by men. And now they're doing a convention because they've enjoyed so much success with the 21 Convention. They're putting on something called the 22 Convention, which is for women, but also by men. And so the one for men, I guess, it helps men be better men, right? And it gives them life advice, father advice, I guess, stuff like that. And the 22 convention is supposed to help women be better women, but it's hosted by men. Does that make sense? And the people who do it, they're the Red Man Group. Okay.
Yeah, but wasn't there some sort of controversy around the convention last year? Something that happened?
They had a falling out because of some stuff that happened with Rollo Tomasi, the rational male, who I guess became irrational. He broke some, like, he basically like damaged the trust between the organizers of the 21 convention and himself because
he invited a journalist.
Yeah, he invited a journalist to like an after party.
Yeah. And
it was basically supposed to be a private event that only certain people were privy to, and he brought this journalist, and she was like, I don't know, she works for, I think she wrote for Washington Post or something like that, and so they saw her as the enemy, and he brought her on there, and I think he lied to them about it, or he manipulated them in some way. I don't know. It's drama, but there was some falling out between Rollo and the guys at the 21 convention. But more,
my personal
go ahead,
experience
Alison.
with Rollo is that I went on Twitter and he was essentially describing something, how to appeal to women, or that the ultimate purpose of, I guess, being a man is to appeal to women. And without any judgment, like, I'm not saying this is necessarily bad or good, just a pure observation, I said, that is gynocentric. And he blocked me.
Yeah, because it
and
is.
And I just remember he blocked me because I quoted his own article at him. I'm like, this is gynocentrism, quote. The primary, I mean, masculinity is performative and the woman is the judger of performance. And I said, this is gynocentrism, block. I don't usually experience that with people I discuss things with unless they're feminist. So I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised that this guy caused drama because he doesn't seem very rational.
Well, it's quite possible. I have had mostly neutral or slightly negative interactions with the 21 Studios Red Man Group myself. But, as far as them putting on this convention, I don't have a problem with it. I think that it's probably to get attention, to be honest, because this 22 convention, Make Women Great Again, it is so incredibly inflammatory. It's just making everybody upset. That is not part of the manosphere in some capacity. Okay. And I think that was by design. I think it was a move on his part, a marketing move to do this, to get people talking about it.
So that they go to the 21 convention.
So they go to the 21 convention. Yeah. So the press would go and they try to, and I think that it's like the stuff that they've been doing that's where some of these, this recent upcropping of anti-MRA articles has been coming from. I think it's because of the stuff that the Red Man Group is doing. Although I would argue they're not MRAs, and I think they would agree. They are general red pillars is what they call themselves. So it's sort of like somewhere between a PUA and a TradCon with a little bit of anti-feminism sprinkled on top. That's kind of where I think they sit. I could be wrong about that, but
yeah, no, I think you're right.
Is that about right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I think that I believe one of the organizers has said that he is a men's rights activist, or just
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably after our convention that that was said. So
The author of Feminist.
Oh,
doesn't he work with them?
Yes, Bob Lewis. That was his pen name, but that's not his real name. It's DDJ. I've had him on the show a couple times, and he's a member of the Red Man Group. Yeah, he's a regular on their show, which is like every Saturday. Anyway, they have a different way of discussing men's issues, but that is their way. And you know what? It's fine by me. I don't really care if it helps those men. Then good for them. So we're going to be looking at the Real and their response to the existence of a 22 convention, which is essentially it's asking women to attend, but it will still be hosted by men. So it's men essentially giving advice to women. And oh boy, you are not allowed to do that. Women do not like that. So should we get into this video now, or do you want to talk about something else first? Because I know you asked me about this Twitter thing.
No, actually, that can go later. Maybe we can.
That
do
can
it
go
as, like,
later.
All right. Punch at the end, but I just I'm actually curious about what the agenda is for the event.
The Red Man Group.
Yeah, no, the 22 event.
Yeah, no idea. I think it's interesting.
Not been made public.
Well,
it's not been made public.
No, it hasn't.
The Real have their own take on it, I think.
Yeah, they're just jumping to conclusions though. But
yeah, that's what I'm guessing. So I'm like, are we going to be able to compare what the Real says to the real?
Well, I personally, I'll tell you what I think off the bat.
Can we look at their website? Or
yeah, I got the website up right here.
Yeah, let's look at the website. Does it have any kind of agenda? Does it have what speakers? What are they going to speak on?
They're really great at hyping themselves up, but they're not great about telling us stuff. Look, only 4 days, 7 hours, 42 minutes, and 49 seconds to get tickets. By the way, tickets are half off now, and they're also doing a bring a friend free deal. So
why the hell would you have your tickets half off before 4 days before the event? Like, I mean, when we did our event, okay, I'm just going to complain about the ticket structuring here.
Sorry,
go ahead.
But seriously, when we did our event, we were like, when I did the ticket structure for our event, they were, a certain amount off for the early birds, a certain amount off for just the general, like, prior. And then by the time you get to this, like 4 days before the event, they're like, yeah, they're going up $100, guys. What is this? What kind of management
we didn't sell
is this?
any.
I think maybe they're having trouble selling tickets because they cost a lot. You want to know how much they cost? I'll tell you. Double Trouble. This is live, right? Yeah, I just want to make sure. The 21 convention. This is what the costs have been. Event pass from $2,000. 21 convention second Patriarch edition, $2,000. Lifetime VIP
1,200.
1,200. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Lifetime VIP ticket, $10,000. Triple Trouble, 3 2020 event passes, $2,699. The 22 convention MWGA, that's Make Women Great Again, $99. Okay,
well,
and that's on sale. It's $999. I'm sorry, it's $1,000. And that's on sale. It's half off. So these
Okay,
these tickets
so
are kind of
what-
pricey.
They are, but what do they say the convention is?
It includes
How are they going
full
to
3
benefit?
days. Well, let me tell you what it includes. It includes full access to 3 days of speeches, plus access to the speaker's dinner, plus a 1-year pass to 21 University for all the video recordings and additional perks as available. And that's it. That's what it comes with. Now that's if you.
But what are they advertising it? Like when
What
you
are the
go
speakers? What is the
and scroll
content?
down?
What is the content? All right, let's see.
You scroll down and
The most pro-woman event on planet Earth, 100% funded by women, destined to be the mansplaining event of the century. This is the reason why it's getting talked about, Allison. It's inflammatory on purpose, okay? Brought to you by legendary Manosphere event architect and first president of the Manosphere, Anthony Dream Johnson.
president.
God damn, this is just so. There's just ego is just oozing off of it. Femininity is greater than feminism. The war on motherhood. These are like the topics, I guess. What you will learn about, okay? Femininity greater than feminism. The war on motherhood. Beauty and the obesity? What? You mean beauty and obesity? Oh, I get it. Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Obese. They should have called it Beauty and the Obese. That would have worked better.
Yeah, it would have.
The war on love and romance.
You should charge them for that one.
No,
Right?
I'm
You
not.
should be like,
Yeah, no,
I need
right?
$500. I am a PR consultant.
Raise your femininity by 500%. Get pregnant and have unlimited babies. In an asterisk, I guess.
Is that
Our speakers will teach you the skills to get wifed up, knocked up,
Is that
and
a
have as many
guarantee?
babies as your heart desires, with the time and fertility you have left. Oh God. Beat the competition, become the ultimate wife, make fitness great again. So these are essentially,
there's the speakers.
and these are the speakers. Yeah, Anthony Dream Johnson.
Beach muscles.
That's Beach Muscles. Alexander J.A. Cortez, the
How
trainer.
many nicknames
and so
does he have?
all of them. Stefan Molyneux, Elliot Hulse, Mike Cernovich, George Bruno, who I've had on the show. And that's basically it. At least those are the ones that they
advertise.
They advertise. Bring a friend free or use your +1 for your man. And yeah, then there's a 21 convention. So this is basically it. And I think what I was gonna say. Well, actually, I'll let you comment first on that.
Okay, well, I actually have no comment. I just want to go through the information that they're giving women again, just to clarify. Just let me take a look, because I actually get the sense that this is somewhat joking. Femininity greater than feminism. Okay. All right, let me read this. Let's read this. Hiding under a mask of fake progress, feminism today has become a radical assault on all forms of positive traditional femininity. You know, the one hard-coded into your DNA. Though an onslaught of anti-feminine propaganda spanning generations, women today have been pushed to act like men and deny their own feminine nature. This has left millions of women feeling unhappy, confused, frustrated, and helpless. At the 22 convention, you will learn the truth that unhealthy, militant feminists have been hiding from you your entire life on their war on men, boys, fathers, and women who simply enjoy being feminine. Now, I think that personally, if I were to make a comment on that, I would say that I don't think feminism is a war on femininity. I actually think that feminism promotes the idea that women are entirely acted upon by men. So women exist pretty much solely as a reaction to men's actions in feminist theory. And so I think if there's a misdiagnosis here, what I think is going on is the 21 studio. Is that the correct way to refer to the people?
Just say, yeah, 21 Studios. Yeah.
I think 21 Studios has made a misdiagnosis. If this isn't intended to simply be tongue-in-cheek and incendiary, which, you know, granted.
No, I think they really believe this stuff, but I think the way they write up what they're about is intended to be inflammatory. But I think they genuinely believe, like, when they list what they're going to do, I think that's what they're going to do.
Okay, so going under the assumption this is a genuine belief, I do believe it's a misdiagnosis. I don't think feminism is anti-female or anti-feminine. what it is it's political femininity as
Mhm.
opposed to personal, private, or traditional femininity. So what they're doing is they're creating a political narrative around women being simply
So
reactions to men's actions.
so what you're also saying is that under the framework that the 22 convention is presenting, in their idea that femininity is better than feminism, and they are saying that they believe that femininity cannot be weaponized, because they're
Yes.
saying that what they're making the mistake of saying that if a woman was just really feminine, then she would be better for society, because she wouldn't use that femininity, because she couldn't use that femininity against men.
As a weapon. As
Yes.
a weapon, yeah.
Yes.
So what I would say is that feminism is weaponized femininity. You're right. That's actually what you would say in interpretation with what I was saying, and that's good.
Mhm.
Like geez, PR. You should be a PR consultant. You're like explaining things better. But yeah, that would be what I would think about what they're saying here. I think their diagnosis is incorrect. I don't think
Okay.
they've gone that far into the whole issue. And
Mhm.
I would argue that if feminism is doing anything, it's really, as opposed to encouraging femininity in women, it's encouraging this extreme form of highly reactive femininity, and it's encouraging women to have a very, very broken relationship to their own agency in the world.
Mhm.
And traditional femininity actually does have a better relationship between a woman and her agency in the world. So it recognizes women's power in their traditional spheres and the importance of those traditional spheres, even its influence on the greater sphere, which is a recognition of women's agency, which may be why we see in more traditional cultures women more capable of managing going into science and mathematics careers, because there's still that recognition that the feminine isn't a denial of agency. So with feminism, it's like if you're feminine, you have a complete and utter abdication of agency. You have none. That
Yeah.
is their gender binary. That's the feminist gender binary. Women are oppressed, so women are utterly a response to men's actions. That's their gender binary. Women are utterly a response to men's actions. Men's actions are the only things that exist in the world, which is going to create a broken relationship between any individual woman and her agency. And that may appear to be toxic, and I'm not sure why people think that's masculine. I guess it's because feminists are going out into the world and being very strident about, but it's no more masculine than an infant crying. Like I guess that is taking an action, being strident, it's
Yeah.
being difficult to ignore, and it's saying, but when I look at what feminism is doing, it's not so much that they want women in these roles of but they want to be victims, women to be seen as victims of not being in those roles, which is a very different thing if you think about it. Because if
Yeah.
they did want women in those roles, they wouldn't be promoting this broken relationship between women and their agency, when it's women's agency that can get these women capable of doing these roles in the first place. So I would say that the diagnosis is incorrect here. um I don't think that this is a reason to go bonkers over it, but because this seems to be very, very common misunderstanding of feminism,
Mhm.
and also traditional femininity,
Yeah,
because
and
once
also
again,
femininity, yeah, because if it weren't for femininity, there wouldn't be feminism. Like,
no, there wouldn't. I mean, the
no.
original meaning of feminism was simply femininity. And I
Yeah.
really don't think that it's changed from that. It's just that it's become this extremely toxic, highly refined political femininity,
Mhm.
weaponized femininity, this absolute abdication of feminine agency, and the idea that women are completely and utterly defined as reactions to men's actions. And like I said, traditional femininity has always had a recognition of women's agency and the recognition of women's power in creating family, building community, and ensuring the future of the groups that they belong to.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's off. That's all I would say. But I'm not, it's like not offensively off. It's just the typical misinterpretation, in my opinion.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. All
right, want to go to the next one?
The war on motherhood.
America is officially the first country on the planet for unwed single motherhood. After a dramatic rise in recent decades, single parenthood of any kind is just another way of saying broken family. Statistics conclusively show that this is absolutely devastating for children as well as mothers. Poverty, crime, mental health issue, and overall decline in well-being is rampant today in America and in the West in this context. Thanks to feminist anti-motherhood propaganda, generations of women have been lied to with "you can have it all," a clever way of tricking them into prioritizing motherhood until 90% of their eggs are dead by 30. This has led millions of women down a path of endless heartbreak, dead-end relationships, and left children at significantly heightened risk of birth defects via geriatric pregnancies. Today, we are witnessing the slow-motion collapse of intentional motherhood and intact family formation. Okay, well, I guess they're looking at this from the point of view of they're looking at this from the point of view of women as opposed to like men's interests, which
Yeah, but they're trying to attract women, so they gotta like appeal to women. I
yeah,
guess.
the problem is
Yeah.
what they're appealing to again, I think, is that what notion of when I was talking about traditional women having a sense of a much better relationship with their agency than feminist women. So traditional women see themselves in terms of their children and the health of their children. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not so sure necessarily feminist women see that, and that's an aspect of agency. A mother will see that she has a high degree of influence on her children and attempt to make that as positive as possible. You know what? And that's actually a recognition of agency. It's a recognition of the what I would call the instrumental feminine, which is it actually is. You know how yin yang, they have a little bit of the masculine and the feminine, and a little bit of the feminine and the masculine. That's
Mm-hmm.
that. Traditional femininity was a little bit of the masculine and the feminine. And what feminism is no masculine in the feminine. Women are entirely a reaction to men's actions. There is no instrumentality in the feminine. Femininity itself is utterly and completely incapable of any kind of influence, any kind of power, any kind of ability. You know, do you see what I'm saying, Lindsay? Or is she
No.
gone?
No, she's here.
I was like, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I can see how. All right. Well, what I'm trying to say is that the traditional feminine had a bit of that concept of instrumentalizing in it, and so to explain where I'm coming from, tra- even not just traditionally, but the hormonal profile of masculine versus feminine. Masculine individuals instrumentalize themselves, so they see themselves in terms of actions towards a goal. And women tend to be more reactive, expressive. So they express the things that happen to them and they react to the things that happen to them and express them. The traditional notion of femininity included an aspect of instrumentality. So a woman was a good mother when her children grew up and successfully achieved their life goals. And she did that by recognizing how her actions had an effect on them. And she recognized how her actions had an effect in the wider community. And in some cases, when you go back to like Victorian era, she would also recognize how her actions had an effect on her husband's business. And then you look in the Middle Ages, same difference. There was a recognition of the instrumentality of the feminine. That's gone under the feminist framework and replaced entirely with this belief that women exist only as reactions to men's actions. And what I see the 21 studio doing is they're looking at femininity and saying that's masculinity, or feminism's removal of the amount of masculinity in traditional femininity, and saying that's masculinity,
Uh-huh.
when in fact what it is an extreme form of femininity. And I wonder if that's because they're still operating under that women are wonderful mindset, so they can't see that this is actually weaponized femininity rather than masculinity. So they're saying, oh, this must be masculinity because it's bad.
Mm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, we can continue if you want.
All right. You want to keep going down this list? Beauty and the obesity. Beauty and the obese. We're just gonna say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Over
So
80 million women in America today are overweight or obese. These epidemic level numbers are no secret in spite of endless hyperfit Photoshop pictures of Instagram celebrities and ridiculously low body fat levels. Nevertheless, being sick and obese, a recognized disease in modern medicine, is not beautiful. Taking a good self-care of your body is beautiful in process and outcome. Men admire healthy, fit women. They are, after all, sizing you up for reproduction, and your decisions will be passed on to your children through the choices you make via epigenetics. At the 22 convention, you'll learn how women have been lied to about body positivity and how you can embrace beauty positivity. Right away. That branding, though. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say, I mean, so far, I'm not seeing what justifies the $1,000 price tag
Yeah.
because a lot of women are already aware that this is bullshit if they're in that particular I mean, the thing is that this seems like unless you're giving them tips how to lose weight. I mean, believe me, if the 21 studio group says lose 10 pounds at our event, that I guarantee they'd have thousands of women paying $1,000 for it. But
Mm-hmm.
this isn't lose 10 pounds at the event. It's let me tell you why your desire to lose 10 pounds is why you well, you know, like let me tell you that it is you have it.
That's a
Like,
red.
well, yeah.
That's a red pill.
Mm.
Being fat's bad for you, and men don't like it. Woof! The red pills coming out of this.
You
I
were
know,
brainwashed by
seriously.
body positivity.
Be unbrainwashed. I mean, I think women are already aware of those facts. And I think most women who have any intelligence know that the body positivity movement is it's just fatuous.
Yeah. I think the body positivity thing is, I don't talk about it much because I think that, like you said, I think most people know, that's not a thing. I think that you can be plugged into the internet a little bit too hard and think when you see something insane like body positivity and you think that, oh yeah, this is actually like a common occurrence that most people believe. I think that's incorrect. I mean, yes, we have an obesity problem, but I don't think we have a body positivity problem. I think that's different.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that if they had okay, we'll tell you how to lose 10 pounds over this 3-day convention, they would get a lot of women after that.
I
But just
think,
to tell
yeah,
women,
I think that the part of it too is, and I just want to put this out there, is a majority of the people who are speakers at this event are guys that were known for fitness, content, right? So they're like trainers and they're fitness experts and stuff. So if they take an interest in masculinity as a concept, that came after. So when you have this person like Elliot Hulse, for example, who I tried to get on the show, and that's actually started our confrontation with, I think it sort of like put us on the path to be in a bit of a conflict with Anthony Johnson. But Elliot Hulse started off as a fitness guy, and then he got kind of like more into like woo-woo spiritual hippie shit on his channel, and then he started talking about masculinity, and then he learned about MGTOW, and now he's doing the 21 convention. But his roots are in fitness, so that's sort of like his focus. So I think that there definitely is something to say in with regards to this comment, but in terms of like why does this content exist, I think it's got a little bit to do with the fact that there are fitness guys involved that were doing fitness stuff before. So they're trying to like, okay, what can I bring to the table? Well, I'm a fitness guy. So
yeah, no,
there you go.
I got you. But in terms of marketing, I don't see this really appealing to women because the women who embrace body positivity are not going to turn around and say, "Well, I can learn how to unembrace body positivity." And the women who don't embrace body positivity would be much more interested in a how to lose 10 pounds seminar than a how to want to lose 10 pounds seminar. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next one.
The War on Love and Romance. At incredible speed, the saying, "Where did all the good men go?" suddenly became, "Where did all the men go?" Believe us, men are saying the same thing in reverse today. The truth is that both positive masculinity and femininity have been under relentless attack for decades. Both have taken catastrophic social, cultural, personal, and philosophic damage for tens of millions of people. The result is a depolarized mess where men act like women, women act like men, everyone's confused, and nothing works anymore. At the 22 convention, you'll learn about the drivers behind this bizarre and stupid social experiment, what you can do to heal the damage and pain it's caused you, and how to find awesome men and build healthy relationships.
Okay. All right. So this is pitting itself in direct competition with the particular narrative. Well, first of all, this whole convention is pitting itself in direct competition with the narrative of, a feminist narrative. So the narrative that is predominant in this particular marketplace, which it appeals to women because it establishes them as having moral superiority over men and other women as well, to be honest. Now, what they're presenting is not, I don't think it would necessarily appeal to women who are interested in that, in having a ready justification for why they have moral superiority over men and others. I'm just trying to think of the kind of women that would appeal to. I suppose men's rights activists, maybe female men's rights activists.
In this part right here, I think
Yeah,
that I think it's more like women who maybe like they're getting older, they're starting to panic, they haven't found anyone yet, they're having doubts about whatever their belief systems were beforehand. I don't know that MRA women would be all that interested in this unless they were curious, just like MRA men. I mean, unless they're curious to see what they'd say. What do you think?
I honestly don't think that anybody little segments.
Whatever. I think
I think it's just a ploy to get people to buy, like to get advertisement from controversial, but for them then to like promote the 21 convention. Because I just don't. I don't really think that.
So you think I'm overthinking it, which explains why you weren't listening.
No, I wasn't listening because I have like internet brain. I'm like I get distracted so easily, and I'm working on it.
No, I was just poking you, Lindsay. Don't worry about it. I mean, to be honest, I know that I have a tendency to read really deeply into things, which can be problematic at times.
No, I hear you. I think that them simply saying, there's a war on love and romance, and we're gonna fix it. I think that is intentionally, to get people going, holy shit, these guys are claiming they'll fix everything, and I want to buy tickets now. Or, I can't believe these men have the gall to say that. I'm going to go on my talk show and talk shit about them now.
This is,
so.
Maybe I'm just like really black pill or shrimp pilled or whatever the fuck pilled, but this seems really like mild.
It is mild. I mean, like, I think that it's actually not red pilled enough in my in my opinion.
Where are the damn gut punches? 21 Studios.
This is like, pretty really? Purple pilled in my opinion. I mean,
purple. I mean, this is like a light shade of mauve. Probably.
Mauve, taupe pilled. Raise your femininity by 500%. Again, we're talking about like this idea that femininity is actually would be a good thing if we just embraced it.
I want to hear this part because I want to know how to raise 500%.
Yeah, that's
not over 9,000.
That's a hard number.
Her femininity levels are off the chart.
The femininity is too damn high.
They're blowing the gauge.
For the past several 100,000 years of human life on this planet, masculine men have preferred feminine women in all areas of life, from the kitchen to the bedroom, dating to relationships, marriage, family, and beyond. What's beyond that? like in the afterlife? There's like angels.
She's still
I want a female angel, but she better be feminine.
She's still baking cookies for you.
High quality masculine men want high quality feminine women to mother their children and set great examples for their daughters. Our speakers will teach you what men and women of prior generations failed to teach you as a direct result of feminist meddling and sabotage. These are the relationships and life talks radical feminists do not want you to hear.
Whoa, if feminists don't want me to hear it, I'm gonna sign up right now.
Yeah. I mean,
$1,000.
it's like this is kind of retreading old ground, but there really isn't
Oh my
a
God,
lot
this
here that
is-
we don't
this is-
already know about. So
This is basically taking a lot of the way that they would approach marketing to men and just sort of marketing to women. Like increase
Yeah.
your femininity by 90, like that's basically increase your
yeah,
testosterone.
like I'm
by
sure, yeah,
5
exactly. Raise them T levels. Don't be a bitch
wait,
like this
unlimited
guy.
babies.
Is 21 Studios is in the chat?
Oh, we have 21 Studios in the chat. Oh yeah, there he is. Make women great again. Hello, welcome.
Okay.
We're actually gonna
Welcome.
we're gonna defend you despite your flaws.
Okay. But I want to get this one out before we go. Get pregnant and make unlimited babies. Shoot them out like a goddamn Gatling gun, ladies. That's what we all want, right? We want people to be
Gotta
ducking
belt-
in the maternity ward.
Yeah, we're gonna replace that old womb with this belt-fed one that spits out 100 babies a second. So yeah, but like I said, it's pretty much it's pretty standard. It's just approaching it from the female perspective, talks about fitness, that kind of thing. And that's basically it. So let's go to the video because Lindsay has to leave in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
to
have
go
much
walk
time,
dogs.
but-
She's not gonna
I
have
don't
time
think we're
to
gonna.
say
I don't
much.
think we're gonna get through it, but I just
No.
this
We
would
can
be-
keep
if
we
this-
can keep going. When Lindsay leaves, you and I can take over. Or
No,
is it?
I know. We're not gonna get
Oh,
through it by
okay.
the time Lindsay leaves. Is what I'm saying. I'm just
Oh,
saying,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
if this marketing worked on women, it would actually be a lot more. You know, it's like it spit them out like
Yeah,
like a semi-automatic gun.
yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
Okay, all right.
Like one of those killer AR-15s. Be the AR-15 of baby making. You know, complete with bump stocks.
500% more
Just
femininity.
gotta do some squats to get those bump stocks. Okay, so let's start the clip. This is again The Real. It's a daytime talk show. Remember, daytime talk shows are aimed at, you know, women who are at home.
I thought you were gonna say our cancer.
Women with no jobs,
Remember.
basically. Women who, like,
Remember, these talk shows are
seriously. Okay, so we're gonna play the clip. Here we go. 30 seconds.
It's fair to say that most women hate being mansplained to, right?
Okay, so by the way, I swear to God, I almost did feminist bingo with this clip because I would have checked all the boxes. It's unbelievable.
Can I just? I'm gonna get
Yeah.
in here for a second. Yeah, women hate being mansplained, but they hate even more a man who doesn't have answers for them. To be quite frank,
What was that?
I said women may hate being mansplained to, according to them,
Yeah.
but they hate even more a man who doesn't have answers for them.
Oh yeah, for sure. For
I mean,
sure.
if you're not able to answer a question that they want answered, they're gonna. I mean, you know, they may hate mansplaining with like a little playful punch to the shoulder, but if you fail them, there's going to be contempt,
Yeah.
which is a lot more. And you know, that's not something that I would say is a positive aspect of the way women are.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's something I would suggest that women curb. But it is. I mean, and these women won't be honest about it. They'll just simply say, "Well, don't mansplain. Don't pretend like we don't know everything." But you know, the moment you don't know something, we're gonna tear.
I think they hate that more for sure, especially in feminists too. They want men to do everything. They just don't want them to talk. So
Exactly.
let's do this. Let's make this a little bit interesting because I'm telling you, you're gonna lose brain cells. I'm telling you, this is a terrible clip. And 21 Studios, hats off to you guys for being so inflammatory that you got these people to respond. They took the bait and it made them look like morons. So we're gonna play a game. We're gonna see how many feminist talking points they get through in 4 minutes. So how much stupid can you fit into a 4-minute clip on a daytime talk show that's aimed at women that probably aren't very happy, by the way. Statistically speaking, they're not happy. Let us continue. So we've already no, I'm not doing feminist bingo because I'd have to set it up and that would take forever. So they've already said mansplain. We'll make it a drinking game. I don't have any alcohol, but you know, you guys, if you have any handy, they've already said mansplaining.
Okay, but we are
so
not
that's one.
responsible for any alcohol.
No,
poisoning
make
that
sure you're
results from
not
this.
driving any, using any heavy machinery or driving any construction equipment or flying a plane while you're watching this because you'll probably not survive. So
or Gatling gun babies out of your hoo-ha
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
moment. Well, I suppose you shouldn't be drinking if you have babies inside you.
All right,
Maybe
let's.
eject them between shots.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? You know, just squeeze one out, take a shot, squeeze another one out.
Fuck, I don't know. All right, let us continue. Here we go. Why isn't it playing? Tia.
Right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, you guys, there is this convention that might be taking this to a whole nother level. It's a convention in Orlando, Florida, which is a seminar. I know.
My
well,
hometown.
it's it's run by all men, which promises to,
What's
What the
going
hell?
on? They're on to you,
YouTube
Brian.
is.
quote, make
Oh, yeah.
women great again.
Wow.
Yep.
What?
How
They-
dare they?
They can't stand it. It's funny because, you know, how many times have there been any level of content, like anywhere, where there have been women telling men what they should be doing to be better men?
I gotta go. But I just want to say before I go, there's this part that's coming up that I absolutely love. It's this woman that's saying to like the women watching and in the audience that like if they think there's anything wrong with them at all, just look inside. Look inside and you'll find it.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody to tell you that there's something wrong or try to fix it with any external
The
thing.
answer is in you.
Inside.
The answer is inside you. It's
It's
so
in your reaction.
It's
Because
so
women are perfect the way they are. Okay, and with that I'm going.
Okay, Lindsay's got to go. I'm going to remove
just something occurred to me.
her from the screen
Is
here.
this like a
Yeah, go
while
ahead.
you do that? Is this is basically? Oh yeah, the echo's back. Is this basically do you think this is the 21 studio? Oh man, that echo's really killing me.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I gotta mute.
Okay, so do you think this is the 21 Studios response to the fact that we organized the International Conference on Men's Issues in 2000?
Nah, I doubt. I'm sure that they had this planned already. I think I wouldn't say that.
No, I'm not saying it is a bad thing because I don't.
No. I don't think it's true.
The
That's all I'm
concept.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe, and they're actually in the chat. I don't know if you know, but 21 Studios is in the chat. They're actually, well, at least they were. They may have left, but they're watching us talk about them. But
well,
yeah.
you know, like I don't have a problem with the concept of having a convention in which men explain to women that they're not perfect.
Yeah, of course not.
I mean, the concept's fine. I just find that the content so far is a little bit, maybe it's not edgy enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's not there for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a different take. They're telling us that they've been running the 21 convention since 2007. Yeah, we know. I know. I watch you guys on Saturdays, so I'm aware.
I wasn't talking about the 21 convention. I was talking about the 22 convention.
Yeah,
So
I don't know about that one, but
and it was only just a random thought in my brain that just went in and went out.
Yeah.
So if it's not true, I apologize.
whatever.
But, okay, let's listen to some
All right,
more.
so let's play some more. Let's play some more.
And according to the New York Post, wait for it, the seminar will have men teaching women to do things like how to land a husband, how to lose weight, how to pop.
I like how they go, how to lose weight, and they cut to this woman. Burn!
Jesus!
I'm just
You're
saying.
like, whoa, let's find a fatty.
I don't know if that's on accident or, you know, just like a happy accident or what, but I don't know. All right, so how to lose weight. And I like how shocked they are. Like, just, oh my God. Self-improvement.
How to appeal.
Men telling us, having
women?
standards and telling us what those standards are. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah. Okay. Should be
out a bunch of kids. And get this, you guys, the cost of the seminar is $2,000.
Stop.
Yes.
Well, it says the world's ultimate event for women.
No, but it also says with the trade.
All right, I'm pausing it there. Just we're gonna get to the it doesn't get much better. I'm just saying it doesn't get much better.
Okay, I'm just
Mark, make
Go ahead. You're breaking up a lot. What was that?
we're having the same issue we had before. I think Discord is throttling the side chats.
Well, I can
You might
hear
have
you
to go to the
now. You sound fine
Yeah,
now.
I know. Every time you play the video, it goes robo, and I can't actually hear it. So
Oh, okay. Well, let's move into
Let's move.
the other room. You won't be able to get
Let-
video, unfortunately, but I'll meet you in the
It's
live
fine.
show room.
you know what? It's fine as long as you describe the video to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with not watching.
All right, I'll meet
In
you
fact,
there.
that might actually be a feature, not a flaw.
Yeah, I'll meet you there.
Okay.
All right. I'm in the live show chat now. You guys you shouldn't change anything for
We
you.
have successfully moved.
All right, just give it a second to because like this is a problem with Discord that we've been running into lately. All right, so do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound okay. A little bit of echo. Just for the people in you might have to do mute or push to talk, Brian. Discord has been having issues with its one-on-one chats or its group chats, so we had to move this to the live show in the patron Discord. So now the patrons are eyeing us as we do this show, for what it's worth. But the reason why Brian uses the group chats is because it allows him to share the screen with me so I can see the video, but I can respond to this without seeing it. That's okay. We can make these sacrifices for you. I don't have to look at these people. I don't even know if I qualify that as a sacrifice. Are you ready, Brian?
Yes. All it is women being histrionic anyway. So, all right. So let's play.
Such misogynies.
Yes. So many's. All right. Let's play the next clip here.
with a trademark, make women great again. Full women, always great. We're already great. How you think you got here? You already know. Let's be great. None of us.
How do you think we got here?
Okay,
Women are already great, queen. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I have two comments. I'm going to say two because I don't want to forget one with my attention deficit disorder. One, in 2017, I tried to print out badges that said "Make Pussy Great Again," and the people that I went through were like, "Nope." Two, once again, I think the 21 group isn't realizing that what they're coming up against is these women do not see themselves as instruments. They don't see themselves as holding themselves to any kind of external standard that they have to live up to. That's seeing yourself as an instrument. It's an inherently masculine quality. They think that they are, I don't want to say utterly perfect as they are, but any one of their imperfections is must be a result of either men not giving them what they want. In other words, not being attracted to fat women, not being attracted to women who are strident and unpleasant to be around, who nag, etc., or they're a result of men having done something to them. So if they're abusive, it's what did that man do to you as a woman to make you abusive? And this is, to be quite frank, it's an excess of femininity. It's a femininity to the point where there is absolutely no recognition of individual or personal agency. Not every mother is a good mother, and there is a way to distinguish between good mothers and bad mothers based on their actions. But because these women cannot recognize the idea that their actions matter, because they can't see themselves as instruments for an external goal, they say stuff like this.
And also to add on to that, just because a woman is just because some women are mothers does not mean that those mothers represent all women. And so when they say, how do you think you got here, as though they were the ones that delivered and raised you, they're sort of like co-signing into that more collectivist mentality of, all of the good that women do represent us, and all of the bad that women do either doesn't exist or it only exists because of the men, because of patriarchy. So anyway,
Exactly.
yes, and that's basically that abdication of agency. So all right, so anyway, we were just getting schooled on how these women birthed us, these women specifically, apparently, and men shouldn't have anything to say about women because because they give birth. By the way, they are literally taking a biological component that they have no control over because they happen to be women and making that into a virtue. Being like able to reproduce is not a virtue in and of itself. So, but anyway.
Nope.
I guess
let's finish this off.
That's asking a lot. So, next clip. Oh my God.
Do we know if there's like, have women signed up for this?
Well, they're on the website. It's 50% off now for. So they put a sale on how to make a woman
There has been
great.
a lot of backlash,
Well,
obviously.
I am interested, though,
As it
Lonnie.
should.
I am interested to see who signed up. I actually would like to know.
I know.
Because I would like to get into the mind and understand why that woman thinks she needs help in something.
Exactly.
Because it makes me think they're preying on women who feel that they're missing something in life, whether they're 40.
Oh, I'm pausing it there because I know Alison wants to say something to this. So they prey on women.
Of course.
So women are victims. Yeah.
Women are victims.
Drink.
And that's not preying. That's not preying on women itself. Essentially telling them over and over again that the primary relationship that they have with men, women as a group versus men as a group, is that men oppress them and that they have no power in society. That's not preying on women's insecurities or even manufacturing them. That's just the honest to God truth, even though it's never really been questioned properly and never been scientifically established. It is the honest to God truth of the world. Oh boy.
Yep, that's it. All right, next clip.
Not married, don't have a great job, don't feel like they can't lose the weight. So then they go to this God or this deity that feels like they can lead them, give them the way. You already have the way inside of you. You just have to listen to yourself and own everything about you.
But if I want to learn,
Oh my God, what? I like how they say they go to this God or deity. It's like they know that there is like that women that would go to a convention to try to make themselves better, maybe listen to what men have to say about women, they're like abandoning the religion that they've already created. Like, why are you going to those false idols when we are the true God? Something must have happened to them. The men have gotten to them in some way. You know, it's it's really funny that they frame it in in that sort of like, you know, cultist lens, because it exposes, you know, their own cultish behavior. So,
or at least the expectation that this is kind of a religious thing. So they essentially said that they're deifying men. Is that what it was?
Deifying essentially this male, you know, convention is like a deity that is drawing women in, because of course they can't make decisions on their own. It must be some force that's pulling them, and it's pulling them away from us, and we're supposed to be what they worship, right? This television show is essentially a sermon, and if they go to this thing, they might find that the chat or whatever the fuck this is, the reel, doesn't have anything to offer them, so they might leave, and you can't have that.
Okay.
Anyway, so don't leave this cult for that cult is basically what they're saying, which is another drink moment. So, because remember, feminism is a cult.
You can't just care about men.
No,
you can't
no.
that's not possible. You can't just be like, you know what, I'm actually concerned about how the men in my life experience their life, and I want to make sure I can do what I can to make that a good experience. You get that's not possible.
No,
and the other
it must
thing
be
is
something
that
nefarious.
A lot of women want to get married. They want to have babies. They want to have a husband that earns more than them. They want that quote unquote traditional lifestyle. And funnily enough, it's white liberal elites who have the most access to it. And they're telling everybody else, oh yeah, this is actually oppression of women. It sucks, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's really nice for you to determine to everybody else that your lifestyle is not worth it, or it's the incorrect or immoral one. It's sort of like us talking to China and the emerging nations. Oh yeah, we better stop using oil now. Once it's your turn, yeah, it's time to stop. Just really, okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's really great. And these women, there's nothing wrong with women who want that. There's nothing wrong with them. I guess they're less politically expedient because you can't turn them into fodder for your narrative that's highly politically influential now. Like, you can't turn women who genuinely want to get married and have children and have a husband, have that whole stay-at-home lifestyle, who actually say, "No, this is a privilege. This is me being privileged. I have the privilege of doing this." It's really hard to take that and turn it into spin out your narrative of eternal female oppression when that's what a lot of women got in the past, especially in the 50s, and in the past when they were able to stay home and just take care of the house. You know, that this is the feminist narrative, that was oppression. That was horrible oppression of women. This is their very useful, politically expedient narrative that gives them control over politics and control over powerful men.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't acknowledge that these women are making decisions about their own lives and arranging their life in the way that they want it to be arranged, because that would be reducing the power of the narrative that gives them political clout and money. But at the same time, what they do is they bully these women who don't agree with them, and they bully them by denying them their voice. And what I mean by that is you'll see that feminists say to women who make these decisions about their lives that these aren't actually their own decisions, they're men's decisions. That's bullying. That's bullying behavior. It's abusive. Those are those women's decisions. They have a right to have their decisions acknowledged and their choices about their lives acknowledged as fully legitimate. Not just because they don't benefit your particular political narrative, which benefits mostly you, women of the view or whatever you are, and your sponsors who want to take away women's sense of an effective presence in the world and then sell it back to them in the form of worthless consumer goods that end up in a landfill. Yeah, just because they don't agree with all that doesn't mean you have the right to take away recognition of their choices. And this is what's unbelievable to me about feminists. This
Mm-hmm.
is what they do. They take away the right for women's choices to be recognized at all if they're not feminist choices. And they say it with this awful misogynist, I would say misogynist narrative. Oh, you aren't making your own choices. You're just a puppet for
Yeah.
men or puppet for
Concern
whatever.
trolling.
You aren't making your choices. You're just a puppet for Satan, witch.
Mm-hmm. You're just a pick me. You just have problems you haven't dealt with. You're not seeing that, the solution is inside of you, because as a woman, you are a perfect, biologically perfect being that has the answers and doesn't need men.
They don't see that as a denial. Like,
No.
it's like, as a masculine woman, and I fully recognize that, the 20, in like a lot of cases, what the 21 studio is presenting to women is not something that I'm interested in. I'm not interested in raising my femininity 500%. I'm not interested in turning my womb into a Gatling gun, although that sounds cool. Maybe I am a little interested in that. I
It's
don't
like
know.
Senran Kagura character that does that. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so this isn't of high interest to me, but I'm not going to say to women who this does interest, this traditional lifestyle does interest. I'm not going to say, "Oh yeah, your choices are not your own. You don't exist as an individual because you're choosing something different from me." That is it's like I don't know if that's the ultimate form of abuse, to simply cut away a woman's individual sense of self. But to me, as a masculine woman, that sounds very abusive. Because for me, and I don't know if I don't know if feminists with their extreme forms of femininity realize they're doing this. Maybe they do. But when you are more masculine in your orientation, I think it's called gender expression orientation, and I have a masculine gender expression orientation as a woman. You want to see how your actions affect the world around you. You want recognition of those actions and their effect on the world around you. Now, you can just have it. You can be the kind of person who just recognizes it in yourself, or you can be interested in having or want other people to recognize that as well. And what they're doing is they're denying that recognition. So they're essentially saying the only way that you can be feminine You can't be feminine and have that kind of instrumental orientation to wanting to have your actions recognized unless those actions are in accordance to what we think is appropriate for women to do. So they're actually destroying, even for all women, they're destroying that part of women who actually, that masculine part of women that actually wants your actions to be recognized as your own and as having effect on the world. They're not just, well, they're maybe not destroying it, but they're essentially saying, we won't recognize that part of you unless you do exactly what we tell you to do in exactly the way we want you to do it. And otherwise, we'll cut you down to size, sister.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
All
let's
right,
go.
next clip.
Want to learn how to pop out a bunch of kids? I want to learn from someone who's actually done it.
Yeah, that part.
Okay. You know, or who has inspired me.
It just sounds like these men are trying to control women. And, you know, that's what it sounds like.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they
I'm
probably
actually curious. What was the text of that statement? Like the popping out a bunch of women or babies thing.
What, the actual text in the website?
Yeah, did they actually even read the text?
No, they just said how to pop out a bunch of kids. How it's actually written is, for decades, feminism has derided women who want to prioritize motherhood and family, shame them, mock them, ridicule them as servants of some mysterious patriarchy boogeyman. These clever manipulations were designed to weed you out of the gene pool and forever prevent you from embracing the sacred responsibility, honor, and adventure of motherhood, a journey your half of the human race is uniquely equipped for. Our speakers will teach you the skills to get wifed up, knocked up, and have as many babies as your heart desires with the time and fertility you have left, and how to bounce back to amazing health and wellness without extreme diets or stress. The clock is ticking and your babies are soon to be kicking. So,
Okay, there's nothing offensive about that.
No, but they take offense to it because, again, it's just because it's men doing it that they're ultimately taking issue with.
It's funny. It's like it's an amusing way to look at pregnancy. It's obviously written by a man, which I find, like, bravo, you've actually made this into something that I might be interested in. But I'm not so sure, like, women who are highly saturated with femininity would necessarily want you to frame it in this way and become appealing. You might have to put in some victimhood in there, some nuggets of how you're a victim of birth rape or some crap. But I don't see how this is offensive. And furthermore, I have actually heard women who say they actually prefer a male obstetrician because men don't think that their experience of pregnancy and childbirth is the experience that other women need to be held up to. So they approach it from a position of not knowing what normal is. So they're actually more willing to listen to women than a female obstetrician. And I would actually say that this entire show is a reflection of exactly that principle. These women have one way that they think it's right to be female, and they will eviscerate any woman who doesn't agree with them. And once again, I'm not coming from a position where what the 21 man or 21 studio is saying about being female is that of interest to me. I mean, I'm not going to say that I find this compelling. I think that most people who have listened to the beginning of this recognize that this isn't something for me. But at the same time, I'm not going to tear down women that this is for. I'm not going to say, well, you're womaning wrong. This is what these women will do.
Yes.
As long as you're approaching this as an ethical person, that's what my concern is.
Yes. And they'll do that
in your dealings.
And they'll do that while simultaneously claiming, as the central person there said, that larger woman, the robust lady in the middle, said that she believes that these men are using this to control women. And what's ironic is that these women on the panel are trying to control women by essentially pushing them away from this convention, by attacking it with ad hominems, by claiming that, these men are pathetic, they want to control women, they're trying to frighten women that are watching the show away from any interest in it. So they're the ones actually trying to control them. And they're just maintaining the status quo while pretending to be the upstart.
Well, and here they're not just doing all that. They're insisting on a particular role for women. And when you analyze this, when you've gone as deep as I have, you realize that what they're doing is they're turning women into neuters for their narrative. So they're turning them into the perfect talking points for the politics that gives them power and money. And I'll be quite frank, they're turning them into a narrative that appeals to powerful men. So instead of being a wife, a mother, ultimately a grandma, ultimately a pillar of your community, someone who raises healthy children, instead of being that, you get to be a sad, lonely cat lady who ultimately functions only as a statistic in some feminist narrative as she is selling her this narrative to powerful men for political clout and money. You essentially become part of a psychological harem. Oh, feminists represent the benefit of this many women, of all of these women. And that's it. That's what you get reduced down to. You become a statistic. You become another worker drone. You become another consumer, and you become a statistic in some feminist narrative so that she can use you, not you as a person, just you as a number, to influence powerful men to give her what she wants. This is all about monopolizing resources. And this is the big thing that creates conflict between women. These women want to monopolize men's resources in a particular way, and they will use other women to do it. And they will do so while denying those women their own access to resources. So instead of getting a partner, instead of getting somebody you can wake up beside when you're old, so instead of getting someone who you can be a friend with and you can build a life with, you get this narrative that makes you, frankly, not suitable for being a partner. There is nothing men can do to themselves. There's no amount of work men can do to themselves to make up for what feminism does to women in terms of becoming a partner to men. Because when you start a relationship thinking that your primary characteristic as a woman is being oppressed and your partner's primary characteristic as a man, this is the gender dichotomy in feminism. Absent every other individual factor or every other group factor not related to gender, women are defined as oppressed, men are defined as a gender as the ones doing the oppression. Once you have that in your head as a woman, you will never be, there's no way a man can make up for that. And you will never have a relationship that's satisfying. And I'll be quite honest, being in a satisfying relationship is better than any product you can buy. And it's better than any career that you can have. And that's true about men and women. It's true about all humans. This is what we're here for. We're here to love each other. We're here to have a positive, healthy relationship with each other. We're here to wake up and smile at the person we've chosen to go to sleep with. That's what we're here for. We're not here to have a crappy job, to buy crappy bullshit that just ends up in a freaking landfill. Those things used to be part of how to build a life with another person. And that's what they were meant to be. They weren't meant to be our lives. And feminism takes that away from you, ladies. You will never know what it's like to love someone because you have this baggage in the way of it. This resentment, this chip on your shoulder, and there's no way you can't. There's no way for you to love a man as a woman when you believe his primary gender role is oppression, is oppressing you. You can maybe love him as an individual. You can maybe love him as a representation of some other group, but you can't love him as a man. You'll never know that. And you're lesser for it.
Yep. All right, I got some super chats I should read before I play the next bit of audio. So Xarius gives us $5 and says, "The real, huh, Brian? Do you like your remaining testicle? Apparently not. I'm exposing myself to this. Tyler Preston gives us $2 and says, will you badgers go over this article from The Independent claiming that parental alienation is junk science, saying that it's a lie made up by abusive men who use child custody to abuse women? No, I haven't heard of that article. I will look it up. Sounds cancerous. Just like Zarang said, you just want to kill me. Is that what it is, guys? Mr. Roboto gives us $2 and says, why are men blamed for the actions of female magazines, Vogue, etc.? Because men are always to blame for everything. The Great Indoors 1979 gives us €5 and says, with those prices, you would expect Anita Sarkeesian and Lori Penny to be among the speakers flown by private jet. Also, romance is a racket. That's funny. Ray Patson gives us $2 Australian and says, so women can tell men how to sit on a train, but, well, of course, women are the wise ones. They know what's best for you. Men don't know, though. Men don't understand women. So, anyway, let the phases of the moon decide. We will move on to the next clip, and it's a short one. There was like a little bit more, but Alison kind of butted in, so.
With their mamas, they want to sit back and, so that's how they have all the experts, because they look at their mama because they still in the basement living with her.
Oh my God.
And
In the basement?
they just,
Women take joy in such basic insults. And by the way, when you say, oh, these men are sad because they live with their mama in their mama's basement, blah, 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 you are telling us that a man's value is only worth something if they have status and wealth and property and all of that. You're basically saying these men are worth nothing because they don't have status and so on, right? So when you have men say, well, women are only after one thing or only after these things, and this is what they're attracted to, and then you try to tell them, no, they believe in true love, they believe in, real attraction, you're being shallow, why are you assuming that? Blah, blah, blah. But then you turn around and say, you live in your mama's basement. You don't realize that you are revealing your true self, like the mask has slipped,
I would also point this out. They're also revealing what they actually want.
Yeah, they are.
Because to be frank, if you have contempt for men who have not managed to create an income that you find respectable, it's because that's what you want in men. You want a man who can provide for you. And the 21 studio is telling you how to get one, that they're not going to be delivered. And you know why they're not going to be delivered? Because there's a whole bunch of competition for men with a good income. They're going to want some particular factors. And the 21 group is being very honest with you. But of course, you guys don't care because you've already got your millions, I'm assuming. So you don't need a man to provide for you. Instead, what you're doing is you're selling a bill of goods to women who, when they laugh at that, it's hilarious. They're saying, ha ha ha, yeah, we really want a man who provides for us. Ha 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 ha. But it's so hilarious. I mean, why would we want to learn the skills and why would we want to learn the necessary things that we need to do to get such a man? Ha 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 ha. Seriously, that is so pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone in their audience who laughed at that indicates that they judge men by how well they provide, which means they do want a provider. And yet they are treating with contempt the very people who are trying to get them in a position to be able to compete successfully with those women who also want a provider and who are actually willing to listen to what men want if they are providers. So you see what I'm saying? That whole crowd wants what the 21-man group or I keep saying 21 men, 21 studio is selling, which is the ability to get a high quality man, as they would consider it. They all want that, but they are listening to these women mock the people who are willing to tell them what they need to do to get it. And you know what's so really fascinating about this is these women in that audience don't realize the reason why they're mocking that is because these women want them for something. They want them to be a statistic in their narrative, as I mentioned before. They want to use them as a tool for them to extract resources, for these women to extract another $1 million from their sponsors. And it's hilarious. It's like these women are laughing at somebody who's telling them how to get what they want, and they don't even realize that they're being exploited by the people who are making this joke. They're saying,
Yeah.
"Yeah, this is exactly what we want," and the hosts of this group are telling us why we don't need to actually pay attention to how we get what we want. And at least men, when they want something, are willing to do what it takes to get it.
Yeah.
Unless they're really toxic. Okay, I'm gonna be really honest, unless they're supremely toxic incels. Because there is some toxicity in that community that, you don't need to do anything to get what you want. You just and to be honest, I think is a reflection of the toxicity of the community of this, like the talk, the view, the real.
Yeah.
It's the reflection of that.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
when not Bette Midler, but Mae West said, "When women go bad, men go right after them." And that's actually a really wise quote. I don't think you really can expect men to not follow women's lead, because men take a lot of their cues in terms of their identity and their morality from women, to be quite frank, especially when they're in a situation where they're not getting respect from a lot of sources. Incels are reflecting the same attitude of these women back at them, the same sense of entitlement, that they
Mhm.
are entitled. Not all incels, because it's just involuntary celibate, but the incels who think that they do deserve a mate are exactly like these women, who believe that they are principally believe that they deserve a provider without providing anything themselves. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying all incels are like that. I'm drawing the distinction. There are some toxic incels. But the funny thing is that every woman in this entire little shit fest is toxic. And it's on a major network. Whereas the toxic incels are in small pockets of forums where they are anonymous. So this level of toxicity is perfectly acceptable among women. This level of entitlement, this idea that, yeah, men should be exactly what I want them to be. They should be high quality providers, but I don't need to provide anything in return.
Yep.
This is right out front and center. And once again, they're laughing at this idea that, they have expressing contempt for men who don't reflect the kind of man they want, at the same time as they're expressing contempt for these men who are going to tell them how to get to them. It's just like, you guys are, I don't even know how to, it's pathetic. Either own what you want and do what you need to get it, or don't. But
No, they want to turn it into a clown show. They want to make fun of it. They want to deride it because they don't want to face the fact that um that they would be criticized. And that's
they don't
one
want to
thing that
face they don't want to face their inner masculine. Let's be quite honest. Because, you know, a woman who's like, "Okay, I want this. What do I need to get this?" As opposed to just sitting back and saying, "I'm owed this because I'm a woman." Woman A has embraced a masculine quality, identifying what she wants and doing what is necessary to get it. These women are absolutely abdicating that the masculine within them, that quality that says, "I want this. I'm gonna do what it takes to get it." That's masculinity. And they're replacing it with this, "I'm owed because I'm a woman. Because I'm nothing but a reaction to men's actions, and men need to be motivated by my pain. Therefore, I shouldn't have to do anything but be in pain or want something in order for a man to provide it." That is ultimate excessive femininity. It's femininity that is completely denied any of that yin yang masculine component. And it's sort of gross. I'm just telling you, guys, it's gross. Like, seriously, if you want something, at least admit you want it. Don't laugh at it. Okay.
All right.
I'm good.
Next clip.
Yeah, you know how they be living in
Oh yeah, get your drinks ready because I think more feminist woke shit is coming.
the basement.
Why are they talking about? I just feel like, I mean, the conversation about making women great again. The men that I know who are great are men who have taken it upon themselves to look at these type of men and patriarchy and toxic masculinity and be like, I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah,
right.
Like that. That's what I've seen.
Yeah.
And the
Yes, queen. Patriarchy, toxic masculinity, I don't want nothing to do with that. How about I don't want nothing to do with that because they aren't real? How about that? Am I one of the good ones? Because I know it's bullshit and it's made up shit by people like you.
Well, it's made up shit because they want women to like. I'm actually thinking that this might be a crusade against masculinity in women. I know that Jordan Peterson said this once, and I never really gave it a hell of a lot of thought, but I think he might be right.
Yeah, the masculine in women as well as the masculine in men. Sure.
Yeah, this is a crusade against the masculine in women.
The
These
masculine,
women are
period.
the masculine period. So these women are going on a crusade against women like me who have a more masculine gender expression. They're going again on a crusade on traditional women who are very feminine, but nevertheless can understand that if they want something, that they need to need to make effort to get it. And if they want healthy children, then they need to look to their own actions and how to do that. If they want a happy husband, they need to look to their own actions for that particular goal so they can instrumentalize themselves. They are attacking masculinity in women, period.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they don't want it. They're just gonna try to excise it from women. And those women who would want their actions to be recognized as a result of their own choices, they got them tied up in this too. Because if you don't do as they say, then you don't get that either as women. It's actually really gross. And I remember watching this video from like the 1960s about women's reactions to women's lib. And there's one woman who said, I don't think there's much danger from being oppressed by men, but I think there's a huge danger from women's choices being controlled by other women. 1960, she said that.
Hmm.
And she's absolutely right. These women are not your friends.
No.
This is what I would tell women. These women are not your friends. They want to use you. They want to turn you into a statistic for their political power and their money at the expense of your life. I mean, really, what amount of a stupid dead end job and crappy consumer goods really compares to a genuine, warm, and loving relationship with another human being? Nobody gets this shit from a career. People obsess about careers because there's something in them that is in pain. And it just forces them to keep working, 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 working. That's not a satisfying thing. And it never was. Men do careers because they want to be desirable to women. And women don't need to do careers to be desirable to men. They just have to be somewhat sympathetic. They just have to listen to our radio show and
Mhm.
understand men and just be able to sit down and say to their husband, I get that your job is hard. And just listen to what he has to say. Just listen to his pain once in a while. And they will have a satisfying relationship with a man if they listen to this show and open their heart, not just to their ability to see themselves in terms of a goal and do what it takes to get that goal, which is really what will get you the man that you want, or at least a man that you can fall in love with because you actually care about, you actually have a good relationship with yourself and your own agency. Not only that, but it will get them what they want, and it'll also make what they want better. Because at the end of the day, like, all of the shit we buy ends up in a landfill. Our careers aren't where you're not gonna like very, very few people find such a beautiful career that Nobody gets paid to do work because they're being paid to do something somebody else doesn't want to do. So you're rarely going to find something truly satisfying in the work world because you're being paid to do something somebody else doesn't want to do. So it's either terrifying, like my job, or it's tedious or something undesirable. Because otherwise, people wouldn't pay. People would just do it for free. So that's the nature of work. So there's nothing in having a career. There's no consumer good that is in any way worth not having a relationship. I mean, they've got like these women have it all backwards. They're I don't even get it. I mean, how is a Gucci bag? I mean, a Gucci bag is I don't even get it. Like, how is that even comparable to spending 20 minutes with someone you love and truly loving them with all of your heart, with none of this patriarchy theory, toxic masculinity, and condemnation of his gender expression in the way of that? How does that compare? How is that in any way comparable? I mean, only somebody who has never loved someone can say that that is comparable, that a career or a piece of garbage that you're gonna throw away in 2 years is in any way comparable to spending 20 minutes with someone you love. Only someone who's never experienced that would make that comparison, and that's what these women are selling women. They're selling them this crap. They're selling them whatever their sponsors are offering today. And they're selling them an empty job that they don't even need to take to be desirable to men. And why? Because it gives these women power. And that's all they care about. They don't care about you ladies. If they did, they would say, you know what? Look at what the 21 Studio Group is doing. If it's of interest to you, maybe you go and take a look. I mean, $1,000 I wouldn't, but whatever. Go learn what they have to say. Listen to these people. Maybe it's the life you want. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you want to be a career woman. You could be a career woman. Just behave ethically towards your family and realize you're probably going to have a stay-at-home dad in order to do that, which means that you're going to have to keep your hypergamy in check, which will be in of itself difficult. But as long as you're ethical, go do it. And if you want to be a surrendered wife, or what I would prefer to term a trusting wife, because I think that's what's actually it was Hannah who brought that up, that surrendered wives are better termed trusting wives. If you want to be a trusting wife, you want to say, you know what? I am not going to nag my husband. I'm not going to insist on anything. I will take him as he is, and I will trust in his instinct to provide and protect me. And I'm not going to make any comment on it. That is an aspect of self-control. It's self-mastery in being a trusted wife. You approach that ethically, go and do it. You're doing great. You want to be some combination of a woman who works or stays at home, and you approach that ethically, so you're part-time worker, good, do it. Just be ethical in your dealings and master yourself. And realize that the most important thing is that we have the opportunity to love one another. And nothing else compares to that. Okay, let's listen to some more.
All right. Just so you know, Lindsay is back, so I'm gonna pop her character back in. And
Did you get to the
yeah,
favorite part?
Yeah, we did. We listened to that part already. Right
Do you
now,
want to listen to it again?
No, it's okay. Right now, this woman just talked about toxic masculinity. We've been going for an hour and a half, so we should probably get ready for the after show pretty soon. So I'm gonna try and get through the rest of this video. Next, what was that?
I just want to point out how ridiculous it is that she thinks that if somebody is looking for any kind of self-help, that means they're being preyed upon, and that people don't need those outlets for self-improvement. That's so crazy.
Yeah,
it's very communist.
In particular, women don't.
Yeah.
What was that,
I've
Alison?
noticed is that communism, the people who are involved in communist, not all of them, because sometimes I noticed some communists actually seem to want a purpose, which is bizarre. Like when I talk to, and it's mostly the male ones, they're like, I want a job that, no, actually what they say is communism will give me a purpose. They'll give them a job. So they actually want a purpose, which is interesting because they're expressing their desire for communism in a very masculine way. They want to be used as an instrument, and they feel like they're underutilized by capitalism because nobody's explaining to them what they need to do with their lives in order to have a benefit, to give a benefit to society, which, you know, I really don't think communism is going to do that for them, but that's, I think, their approach to it. And then there are the communists who seem to think that any kind of self-improvement, like you were saying, Lindsay, is some sort of right-wing conspiracy. And
Yeah.
like even like the new age stuff, like The Secret, right-wing conspiracy.
I've
Because
actually
it-
heard that before.
Yeah,
But The
because
Secret
it's
is a
telling
right-wing
you-
conspiracy?
Yeah, like my friend told me that he thought it was like, you know, to make rich people feel better about their wealth.
Oh, God.
So it's like, yeah, it's like a right-wing conspiracy.
Or also, it makes you take responsibility for aspects of your life instead of blaming the system, even though the system is sort of like our collective choices, you know?
Yeah.
But apparently we can blame it for all the shit that it happens to us. Okay, let's how much more do we have anyway?
We are more than halfway through. There's only like a couple of clips left. So we're going to play the next, literally like 4 clips left. So we'll play the next one right now.
The women I feel who have really owned their greatness are women who have like been able to say, you know what, I don't want to feed into that either, because that's really actually a problem too. Women who have actually been brainwashed by this patriarchy, and so that's who these men are preying on. Don't let them prey on you.
Absolutely.
Patriarchy. It brainwashes women. Drink. All right.
What if it was like a conference hosted by women? Would it be okay?
I think that they would probably promote it.
Like even if it was all the same stuff, like motherhood.
I think that if it was all the same stuff and it was made by women, I think that they would promote it. I think that or they would have ignored it completely. Actually, it's more likely they would have ignored it completely, if anything.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that it's hosted by men and it's directed at women is the reason why it's getting exposure. And I think that was part of the plan from the beginning. And I think it's working out for them. Is what I believe. So
yeah, I think so too. And I think they definitely hit the nerve there. Maybe we should do something like that. Men's rights activists tell women how to woman.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, maybe. I mean, that sounds like a lot of work, though. I don't want to deal with women that much. I already deal with women too much. All right, so moving on to the next clip.
Burn.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Oh, I'm hearing from the chat. There are people saying that they can't send super chats for some reason. I don't know if there's an issue or maybe somebody was just talking shit. So,
or maybe you've been copyright.
Yeah, or maybe the reel came after us and we can't do it, or YouTube did something. I don't know. Let us know, guys, if you can't. Is it really a problem with the super chats right now? Let us know. Tag Badger live streams in your comment. So I'll play the next clip in the meantime.
But actually, before you go, we're still doing for September, or not September. What? Oh, goodness, sorry guys. For January, Hannah's supporting Hannah's HBR Talk. She's the Thursday show, as you may or may not be aware, and we do this every month. Do a fundraiser to support her so that she can continue to do HBR Talk. So if you would go to feedthebadger.com/project/support-hannah's-HBR-talk, which I'm hoping Brian will put in the low bar as well, so that you can go there. You can send us some funds to support that instead of a super chat, which is greatly appreciated. Although super chats help as well. I don't see a copyright strike on this video, so I can't tell you why that's happening. I apologize, people. I'm not omniscient. Maybe YouTube has decided that we are doing something untoward. Who knows?
People are saying they can't send super chats, and I haven't seen any since. But some people are saying that it's working fine. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. But you know what? Just go to Feed the Badger and do it there if you want to send us something, and maybe we'll look at the end of the show and see if there's any messages that went with it.
Okay, and also you can go to the other place too, right? Not Restream.io, the tip jar thingy. Don't we have something?
Yeah, it's Streamlabs. I think there's a tip jar thing. Yeah.
Yeah, do we have him in the low bar? Maybe we can send that out too.
I don't have it in the low bar right now. I kind of got my hands full. If you send me the link. Actually, no, it's there.
Okay,
Watch
all right,
no,
we'll
wait.
go in the low bar.
Streamlabs.com/honeybadger radio. It's in the low bar.
Oh, yeah, you know what that is? I bet that's going to the other show, not this one. So it needs to be
I
back
don't
to
know.
live streams. Yeah.
No. Well, yeah,
Okay,
maybe.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just continue, guys. Sorry about that. If you want to send us some money, go to feedthebadger.com. If you want to help support Hannah, go to feedthebadger.com/project/support-Hannah's-HBR-talk. There's no apostrophe in Hannah's. It'll be in the low bar as well. But I'm doing that for the podcasters too. Okay, let's do it. Let's finish
Okay,
this.
I'm gonna play the next clip, but before I do, if you're, I see people are saying they're trying to send them. Stop, because I think YouTube might just be taking the money, and of whatever reason it is, I don't know, but don't send any more. If you're having trouble with super chats, don't send them, because I'm not seeing them, and I have it set up to show everything, so I don't know why they're not going through. All right, I'm gonna play the next clip.
And I feel like that clarification needs to be made. People, feminism means equality.
Wait, what's she gonna say? What's she gonna say? What does feminism mean? What does it mean? I've never heard this before. Are you gonna tell us the definition? I've never heard this ever.
Means equality.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Everybody go home. I don't know why I was doing this show for all these years. I quit, Allison. Feminism is about equality. I was just told. I'm done. See you guys in the next show, and we're gonna wrap this up right here. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of Honey Badger Radio forever.
Men's right
I'll see you guys in the next one.
Machines.
No, I'm kidding.
No, you won't.
I'm
because it's
kidding.
the end,
I'm kidding.
my
I'm
friend.
kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Feminism is equality, right? You know, I recently got through on Twitter explaining something to another feminist. We would never tolerate this behavior from any other profession because feminism says it's about ending inequality, right? And yet it also wants to define what equality is. So if you think about it, it's like going to a mechanic with your car and your car's broken down or it doesn't start, or it does start, but it's got a knocking sound in the engine. And you come back after you pay your bill and you come back and your car has no damn tires and it's been gutted and turned into a planter. And you look at this and you're like, this is, I can't use this. It doesn't even have an engine to start anymore. I came in with an engine that was making sounds and you took my engine out and turned it into a planter. And what the heck? It doesn't even have any wheels anymore. I paid for this to have my car fixed. And the mechanic looks at you and says, how dare you? What makes you think that this car isn't fixed? What makes you think you can define what a fixed car is? I am a mechanic, and what you're doing is hate speech. Because that's what feminists are. They are supposedly professionals that bring about equality, but they're defining what equality is. Why, would you go to a mechanic who gets to define what a fixed car is? Would you go to a doctor that gets to define if you're cured by cancer or not? But by themselves, no oversight. Oh yeah, you're done. You're cured. Go away. Give me money. I mean, I only saw you for 20 minutes, did nothing, but give me $250,000 for curing your cancer. Thanks, bye. Would we do this with any other group of people or any other professional group? This is the problem with feminism. Feminism says they're equality professionals, but then feminism shames anyone who questions if what they're creating is equality into silence.
You know
Them into
what's
silence.
You know what's funny, Allison? I just realized. I'm sorry to cut you off. The topic of feminism never came up in this video until now. It has like the 21 convention in the notes that they were using, because they weren't like reading off the website. They had these cue cards they were reading off of. It doesn't mention feminism at all. This woman chose to bring that up. Like, they actually eased into it, right? So it was just oh, these are men telling women what to do in terms of like how to be better women. And then it transitioned to, oh, these men must be living in their mother's basements. And then it transitioned to, oh, well, good men are not toxically masculine and they're not patriarchal. And now it's, oh, by the way, ladies, feminism is about equality. Like feminism never came up. But they're bringing it up. They're bringing it into the conversation. I just realized
and
that.
they're being defensive about it.
Yeah, and they're being defensive. Like I know that you know the 21 convention, the Red Man Group are anti-feminist, but it wasn't on the cue cards. It wasn't like they read anything aloud. They basically talked about how to be the best traditional wife and mother, you know, and that was it. And she's basically making a defense for feminism. It's almost like feminism stands in direct opposition to being a wife and mother. And having good relationships with men and all that.
Or feminism actually is about telling men how they need to be. Which means that she's feeling like, oh, well, I'm saying that this group that is a specific gender is telling the other gender how to be. Well, I suddenly feel defensive for some reason. I gotta defend my feminism. Don't know why. Can't possibly articulate or look into that a little bit more, but I just feel the need to defend it. Just by random happenstance. Calling out one gendered group, telling another gender that it needs to be its gender better. I just feel like this might be an attack on feminism on some subconscious level, so I'm going to defend feminism.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And also, feminism isn't about superiority. Just remember, feminism is about women judging men and men being entirely defined by women's judgments and men not being able to judge women in return or have any standards. But feminism isn't about superiority. It's about that is creating equality, friends. By giving women the right to do things to men that men do not have the right to do to women, that is creating equality. Because patriarchy, which is something that has never been scientifically proven. Madness, my friends, madness. Okay.
All
Good.
right.
It's just
Alison, Lindsay wants to say something.
It's just taking a big highlighter to their hypocrisy.
Yeah.
But it's just about equality, but
women have it in them. They're perfect.
We will advise men, but women, like, men can't advise women. But it's about equality.
Yeah, but it's also just about equality. As long as men shut up and stay in their mama's basements and don't actually try to like say anything because we don't like mansplaining around here, and then we'll have equality, I guess. I don't know. All right, we'll play the next clip.
It does not mean that you are out there raging for women to be better than men, that you dress a certain way or say that we're higher. No, when you're a man and you're a feminist, you say, I look at my partners and we're equal and I want to pave the way so that you get treated just like us. That's what feminism is about.
Oh. Men and women are equal.
Wait.
Men and women are equal, but men have to do something, and men are actually in the position of doing something, and women never are.
They have to pave those roads, pave the way.
Yeah, take out that trash.
That's so freaking hilarious. This entire episode has been about judging men, and they're going nuts over these men saying, well, we might have standards in women. Learn how to get up to those standards. Like, how is it that they always use equality as an excuse for why the patent and blatant inequalities that they're promoting are legitimate? Like, have you ever noticed that? That's the only place where this is really trotted out. I believe in equality. That's why you should put women first. I believe in equality. That's why women should be able to judge men, but not the reverse. I believe in equality. And that's why, even though I'm giving women all of these powers over men's identity that I wouldn't give in the reverse, I'm not creating superiority. And the thing is that it's all excused. It's all hand waved because of patriarchy, which is once again something that hasn't been scientifically proven. And what I mean by that is, yes, men have been in positions of power throughout all of human history, but there's no evidence that they use them to benefit other men over women as a general rule.
Oh, absolutely not. In fact, there wouldn't be civilizations for men to actually have power, which I would argue is responsibility over without the interests of women and their needs taking center stage in order to form that civilization. Like you couldn't do it without taking women into account, and not just into account, but making them their safety and their security a primary function of that society. So, but let us play the next clip. And I apologize for the echo. I'm not using headphones right now because Lindsay doesn't have any, and I want her to be able to hear this. So I have to mute when I'm not talking.
Not my fault.
No, I know, but I'm afraid if I plug them in, then we'll get echo, because I think that's when it happens. I don't want to form that. It's like when you unplug things and it echoes in Discord, and I think it's Discord's the problem with Discords. All right, so next clip.
Yes, absolutely.
Up with women does not mean down with men.
Yes, correct.
Say that again.
Up with women does not mean down with men.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly.
for them,
Wait a second. Up with
I'll
women does
live
not
in
mean
your
down with
mother's
men.
basement.
Yeah, but you all live in your mother's basement.
But this is all this is if you have this goal, do these things as a woman. It's all it is. It isn't even putting women or men in any position at all. It's just saying that if you want this, if you want to get this from a man, you might have to abide by these expectations. If this is your goal, you might have to do this. And that's putting women down? Seriously? When you are reserving for yourself the right to abdicate over whether or not men are legitimate human beings? Like you will honestly use the term toxic masculinity, which is a condemnation of men's gender identity. You reserve for yourself the right to condemn the other gender's very identity. And you will not accept a single moment where men say, well, this is what I would expect from a wife. If you want to be my wife, you might want to do this. You can't even condone a single moment of men saying, I have these expectations of women before I give up my sexuality to them. You can't even a single solitary shred of that at the same time as you reserve the right to condemn men's gender identity. And even if you think that there is positive masculinity, you are putting yourself in the position of being able to determine who is a good or bad man. That's an unbelievable level of entitlement. Not even a good or bad man to be your husband, which is reasonable. You have a right to have whatever standards you want in a partner, but a good or bad man, period. And I mean outside of not being criminal. Okay? You have reserved for yourself that right based on extremely faulty non-science. So you don't have no justification in reality for reserving for yourself that right. And yet you do. And men are simply saying, hey, if you want to have access to my sexuality, maybe embody some virtues as a woman. And you're saying that that's putting men over you. They're not even saying all women have to be this way. All women have to be this way, or their gender identity is toxic. They're not even saying that. And then you turn around and say, this isn't about putting men down. It's only about judging their very gender identity. I mean, not even for if I'm going to have a relationship with him, just his right to feel like a human being. We're going to judge that. We're going to give ourselves the right to do that. But a man can't even judge his future wife. Can't even have a standard for his future wife. Oh my God.
You know, men not having standards is actually part of our problem today, right? And these women want to maintain that men shouldn't have standards at all.
And not even standards for just the random woman. I mean, these guys aren't saying, yeah, by the way, if you don't do what we say, women, you're toxic. You're toxic and you deserve to be shunned. They're just saying, hey, we have certain standards for our partners. You might want to live up to them before we give you access to our sexuality, women. And that's too much. It's unfreaking, like this, again, they use the term equality to justify the most glaring inequalities in their thinking. And what the hell is wrong with men saying, hey, by the way, this is a goal you want to aim for before we'll give it up to you, ladies? This is what you should do. We can be a prize too, you know? Do shit for us. Prove to us that you're worthy for once. Go fight the dragon for us. Go defeat the god of chaos for us, ladies. You know, maybe we have a few standards we want you to uphold. Be fit. Be able to eject babies from your neithers like a Gatling gun. You know, that kind of thing. Sorry, that's still too so fucking hilarious.
That's all right. Fortunately, I have an appropriate image for the Gatling gun womb. All right, so we're gonna move on. Now we're gonna get to this clip. The Grimace is about to say something, so I'm gonna let her speak.
Right, but they're probably also racist, homophobic, transphobic. You know what I mean? I feel like this is the gateway to the.
They're really scared of women. You know.
What? Where have I heard that before?
The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
Especially Elliot Hulse. I heard that guy's like.
Yeah, Elliot Hulse is really like all the bigots,
you know,
all the bigotry.
You know why they do this? You know why they do this? Because they can't say, "Well, they're a danger to children," so they have to use minorities because minorities are the new children, don't you know? And that's not insulting.
Yeah. Also, well, I guess the only thing they didn't do is accuse them of being pedophiles or something. But yeah.
Well, here's the thing, like, you know, people who are in this particular mindset actually apparently talk down to minorities as if they are children. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. There have been studies done on that.
And so essentially, minorities are occupying the position of children in this narrative, which, frankly, I think is racist itself. But I find it really hilarious because they just got through. And I know might be subtle and people may not realize it, but they have just got through establishing possibly the most strict cisgender gender expression norm in human history. Literally, women cannot have a goal that they strive for through their actions because masculinity is bad. And they mean in women too. So as a woman of masculinity, you see what I'm saying there, Brian? A woman of masculinity.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. No, I see what you're saying.
As a woman of masculinity, I feel extremely oppressed by the real. And I find it ironic they're talking about homophobia and transphobia when they are an institution of an extremely polarized gender roles. So women can't at all express themselves through instrumentalizing themselves, seeing a goal that they wish to attain through their actions. That's internalized misogyny. That's being a pick-me. That's being a patriarchal handmaiden. If you regard men as something that you want to live, you know, that's standard. If I look at the 21 studio and say, okay, they've established a standard of the woman that they want, and I do battle against the internal forces of chaos like sloth and fatness or greed, you know, and gluttony, and I become the hero that they want or the heroine that they want. Somehow that's bad. That's internalized misogyny because I'm holding myself to a standard outside of myself, which incidentally, if you're a woman, where the hell is that standard supposed to come from except from men? Like, really? How do you hold yourself to a standard that an external standard as a woman without men
women are
playing
perfect
into
the way
it
they
somehow?
are.
But I don't want to be perfect the way I am. I want something to achieve. I want some actions to take that drive me towards a goal. And that's, you know, the 21 studio, even if this isn't the goal that I want, at least they're giving me one. At least they're allowing me to express myself as a woman of masculinity by giving me a goal outside of my own feminine perfection, which, what the fuck? You see what I mean? It's like they're just so saturated. They're like the super feminine. They can't even conceive of anything outside of themselves being legitimate as anything but something that they react to and judge. They can't imagine that maybe there are women out there who are like, yeah, I want to go for the brass ring and I don't want to be perfect. I want to have something that I have to strive to achieve. It's actually the journey that matters. I don't want to just say, well, I'm the destination. What? Well, you might as well die. Like, how can you live like that? I'm perfect just as I am. What? Well, then just die. There's nothing more to your life.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
that's right. I mean, there's nothing to do because you've done it all by being born. So
Yeah, by being born. And it's like, it's the ultimate objectification. You were born woman. Therefore, there is nothing to achieve. Oh, and by the way, you're subjugated by the fact you've achieved nothing. Women, you have nothing to achieve.
You're a
but
slave
you're also
to your perfection.
yeah.
All right, we got one
Oh
more
my
clip.
God.
One more, and then the show is done. So I'm gonna play
Yes.
it.
That's the reason why we haven't had a
strong
female
women.
a female president yet. Look at all the other countries that have had female leaders, and the United States still has not had a female leader because you have a lot of men that are afraid of the power of women. Women are phenomenal,
Yes.
but we
you're not!
as women have to understand that. That's what Michelle Williams, the white Michelle Williams, was saying at the Golden Globes, is that women have to understand their power. They have to get out, they have to vote, they have to do what they need to do.
Oh
Stop
God.
supporting R. Kelly in comment section.
Yes.
Women.
Oh my God.
Women are absolutely perfect, absolutely way they are. They don't have to achieve a damn thing. Why aren't women achieving? You're absolutely perfect. You don't have to strive for any external goal. Why aren't women striving for any external goals? You're wonderful as you are. Look inside yourself for everything you need. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to become anything. You don't need to be disciplined in any way. Why can't women achieve anything that requires discipline? Jesus Christ. You know why women aren't the president in the US? Because the US is quite honestly ground zero for feminism. I'm sorry to say it.
Sure.
You guys,
No, I mean, I believe it.
you push this narrative. You are absolutely at a war on the masculine in women. On any woman who sees herself as an instrument for a goal, who wants to hold herself to an external standard, which incidentally sort of has to come from men if it's external to women. So you absolutely eviscerate any woman like that. You take away recognition of her own choices. And then you also take away all of the toolkit for achievement and any motivation to achieve by saying women that they're perfect as they are. Becoming the president is the ultimate differentiation for a man. You have just differentiated yourself from every other man in the world. You've just proven yourself better, a better leader, a better politician, a better canvasser of every other man in the world. You want women to achieve? You got to let go of this lukewarm vomit, bee vomit about how all women are all perfect just the way they are. And you got to tell girls, no, you're not. But you can achieve something through hard work. And to be quite frank, women will never achieve as much as men if they're not motivated to do so. If you continuously tell them they're perfect as they are. Oh.
Yeah, because you can't just bring a vagina to the Oval Office. You need more than that, and we don't ask that of women. So,
and most of all, if you really want a woman president, you need to fix the fact that public perception of women's agency has declined since 1946. In other words, you've got your way, feminists. Most people regard women as primarily defined as being acted upon. But if you want them to be in a position that's primarily defined as being a world actor, you're going to find that really difficult for people to square that circle. So you better start rebuilding the public perception of women's agency by maybe pushing back against this whole narrative that women are primarily defined by being acted upon. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. No, of course
yeah.
not. No,
that's asking
no,
too much.
it's the 21 studio that's keeping women from being the president. Ugh. And once again, I don't even think it's about making the woman a president. It's about being a victim of not being the president.
Yeah. All right. So that's the whole video. So should we go into the after show, or do you want to say anything else, or what? It's been 2 hours.
I'm wondering why the super chat. Somebody sent me a message indicating that the super chats are not working. And I'm just curious why that's happening. But this is something that I could explore. I wonder if they've turned off our ability to take super chats.
I know I mentioned we talked about this. So why don't we do this? I'll go into the after show. Give me a second here. I'll go into the after show and I'll talk to the patrons and we'll have a chat about the aftermath of all of this whole thing, and maybe we'll go through the 21 convention website some more. I know that the 21 Studios was in here and they were saying that, you know, we're not getting the big picture and we're just not like that woke yet or whatever. I'll look at it and find out. In the meantime, you figure out what happened with the super chats. It might just be that we got something, maybe something happened here, or we said something we weren't supposed to, and it turned out that our content isn't for children. And they got us on the, I have no idea. But we will figure it out. In the meantime, I did put a link to the Feed the Badger. If you don't see it, refresh the page. It's in the low bar. It's underneath the link to the source of this video. Comments are allowed on the Reels video clip of the one that we just went through. It's actually got more likes and dislikes, so it just sort of makes me weep for humanity that they found this to be intellectual and stimulating. So yeah, go ahead if you want to watch the original video. Make sure we're not taking anybody out of context, and also if you want to like comment on the video, feel free. But yeah, so we're just gonna go into the after show, and if you want to be a part of that, you have to become a badger yourself by going to feedthebadger.com. If you enjoy this content, $5 will get you into the Discord, a $5 a month donation. And there are different levels. So, you know, you could even be a part of the conversation. I don't know where you want to go for this. You want to go to Rant Circle Room or make this available to everybody or whatever? Because it's just me, so.
Okay, well, we had a Rant Circle on Monday, so we'll make this available to everybody. And if you want to join us, which I really recommend, because this stuff can be very isolating, and the community is a wonderful. It's like a hot springs for the men's rights or the men's issues advocate soul. You're just sitting there, and you're like, yeah, this is nice. It's good. And so go to feedthebadger.com and subscribe. There are many options, including some options that get you access to all of the after shows, plus very, very special patron-only bonus items. So feedthebadger.com and join us. Join us in the after show. Okay. All right, Brian, take it.
All right, so I'm going to take us out. I want to thank Alison for coming on. I want to thank my wife, Lindsay, for joining me. She just went off to cook me dinner because I'm a patriarch, and that's what we do around here. I want to thank you guys for joining us on the show. And if you could, please give this video a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, and leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think about this. This has been HBR Debate number 13, where the panel of women on The Real advise men.
Oh, it was 13?
Of the
I thought
Red
it was
Mind
12.
Group. No, it was 12. I said it was. Oh, it is 12. It is 12. I'm sorry. The panel of women on The Real advise men of the Red Man Group not to advise women. So,
you know, you got to get those things right, because somebody's going to be in the comments being like, I'm never going to listen to you guys again. It was HBR 12.
You're always getting
13.
this wrong, and like, you guys suck and all that. All right.
Can't you become more professional?
I do my best. All right. So, I got a message. When is the next Brian Only show? Next Friday. Not this coming Friday, next Friday. All right, so with that said, oh, by the way, there's one other thing I wanted to say. I see some new faces in the chat. I think that it might be some people that maybe they follow 21 Studios. If you guys could, please subscribe to the channel. Why limit yourself? Try to see what we're about. See what we have to say. So subscribe to Honey Badger live streams, as well as our main channel, Honey Badger Radio. There's interesting content there. We're open to discussions and disagreements. Feel free to be a part of that. Don't be a pussy. Subscribe to our channel. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, guys, for coming on the show. We'll see you in the after show. Have a good one, everybody. And I'm out.
Men's right activists are machines,
Alrighty.
dude.
Wait,
okay?
don't talk.
They are literal
Play the outro.
Oh, damn
machines.
it.
They are talking
Sorry.
point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too.